Jerusalem. There was no dancing in the rain-soaked streets, no jubilant horn honking or waving of the blue and white flag. But there were blustery statements from Israeli politicians. Destiny, the right-wing education minister, Naftali Bennett, called it. Across the concrete separation barrier to the south, there were belligerent threats from Palestinian militant groups. The ball of fire will roll until an intifada will break out, warned Salah al-Bardal, a senior Hamas leader in Gaza. News that President Trump would formally recognize Jerusalem as the Israeli capital and take steps to move the United States Embassy to the city seemed to be taking a bit of time to sink in on Wednesday, like an unfamiliar feeling in the one land, and among the two peoples, that it will affect most. It was perhaps easier, for the moment, to let reflexes take over. Israelis did what they know well, bracing for the sort of explosive response that has long been cited by international leaders as a deterrent for moving their embassies to Jerusalem. Yediot Aharonot, one of the nation's leading dailies, ran a photograph of Mr. Trump touching the ancient stones of the Western Wall, a Jewish holy site in the hotly contested Old City, under a blaring headline, "Trump Alert." The article warned of a possible outbreak of violence as Israeli forces readied for protests in the West Bank and East Jerusalem. Indeed, in the Palestinian territories, Hamas, Fatah, and other Palestinian factions, whose internecine battles have often been bloody and politically debilitating, came together to urge a public venting of rage against Mr. Trump. The issue of Jerusalem is the issue of the Palestinian people and the cause of the nation, Ismail Haniyeh, the leader of Hamas, said in an interview with Al Jazeera. We think this is an unaccountable gamble and an adventure that will not have a ceiling. The decision will be the beginning of a time of horrific transformations across the region. In Gaza City, officials and residents wasted little time taking up that call. By noon on Wednesday, despite a downpour, hundreds of demonstrators burned American flags and posters bearing Mr. Trump's photograph, in a protest at the Unknown Soldier Square downtown. Hamas and Islamic Jihad called on Arab and Islamic leaders to cut ties with the United States and to withdraw from peace talks with Israel. In the West Bank city of Ramallah, there were harsh words for Mr. Trump from Palestinians agitated at the idea that they were being forced into another period of conflict. We will never allow East Jerusalem to be taken away from us, said Abu Malik, 54, a retired farmer. Trump is a crazy man who knows nothing about politics. I think he should go back to making WWF videos, rather than making these dangerous decisions that will only bring more headaches and bloodshed to our region. Mesa Hanoun, 20, a student at Al-Quds Open University, said she believed recognition of Israel would set off a third intifada. He really doesn't know what he's getting himself into, she said of Mr. Trump.